Chapter 2: The General Elements of the Universe. The Knowledge of the Origin of Things. 17. Can humans know the origin of things? No. On earth, God does not allow everything to be revealed to them. 18. Will they ever be able to grasp the mystery of things now hidden from them? The veil is lifted as they become more and more purified, but in order to understand certain things they need faculties they do not yet have. 19. Can't humans grasp some of nature's secrets through scientific investigation? Science has been given to them for their advancement in all matters, but they cannot go beyond the limits set by God. The more humans are allowed to grasp such mysteries, the more they should admire the power and wisdom of the Creator. However, whether through pride or through weakness, their own minds often render them victims of illusion, and they pile theory upon theory. Every day, they see how many errors they have mistaken for truths and how many truths they have dismissed as errors. These realizations are further blows to their pride. 20. Outside the realm of scientific investigation, can humans receive communications of a high order regarding matters that go beyond the scope of their senses? Yes, if God deems it useful, God will reveal what science cannot detect. It is through such communications that humans can, to a certain degree, know about their past and their future destiny. Spirit and matter. 21. Is matter eternal like God, or was it created at some specific time in the past? Only God knows. Nevertheless, there is something you should realize by using your reason. God, the very personification of love and charity, has never been inactive. No matter how long ago you might imagine the onset of the divine action to have been, could you possibly conceive of God as ever having been idle for even 1 second? 22. Matter is generally defined as that which has extension, that which can impress our senses, that which is impenetrable. Are these definitions correct? From your own point of view, they are correct because you can only talk about matters that are familiar to you. Matter, however, also exists in states that are unfamiliar. For example, it may be so ethereal and subtle that your senses cannot detect it. It is matter nonetheless, even though you do not perceive it as such. Then how may we define matter? Matter is the tie that enchains spirit. It is the instrument that spirit uses and upon which it simultaneously exerts its action. From this viewpoint, one could say that matter is the agent or intermediary that enables spirit to act while at the same time being acted upon by spirit. 23. What is spirit? The intelligent principle of the universe. What is spirit's innermost nature? It is not easy to explain spirit in your language. For you, it is nothing because it is not something palpable. Nevertheless, for us it is something. You must realize that nothing means nothing and nothing does not exist. 24. Is spirit synonymous with intelligence? Intelligence is one of the essential attributes of spirit, but both merge into a common principle. Thus, for you they are one and the same thing. 25. Is spirit independent of matter, or is it only a property of matter? As colors are properties of light and as sound is a property of air, they are distinct from each other, but the union of spirit and matter is necessary to enable matter to act intelligently. Is this union equally necessary for the manifestation of spirit? For you it is necessary because you are not built to perceive spirit apart from matter. Your senses are not formed to do so. In this section we understand spirit to mean the intelligent principle, rather than the entities designated by the name. 26. Can we conceive of spirit apart from matter, and matter apart from spirit? Absolutely, through thought. 27. So are there two general elements in the universe, matter and spirit? Yes, and over everything is God, the creator and author of all. These three elements comprise the principle of all that exists. They are the universal trinity. However, to the element of matter must be added the universal fluid *20, which plays an intermediary role between spirit and matter per se. since matter is too dense for spirit to act upon it directly. Although from a certain point of view this fluid may be regarded as part of the material element, it differs from it due to special properties. If it were simply matter, there would be no reason for spirit not to be matter too. It is placed between spirit and matter, yet it is a fluid, just as matter is matter. In its countless combinations with matter, and under the direction of spirit, it is capable of producing an infinite variety of things about which you still know very, very little. By being the agent upon which spirit acts, this universal, primitive or elementary fluid is the principle without which matter would forever remain in a state of dispersion. It would never acquire the properties given to it by gravitation. Might this fluid be what we call electricity? We have stated that it is capable of countless combinations. What you call the electric and magnetic fluids are both modifications of the one universal fluid. Properly speaking, this fluid is a perfect and subtler matter that may be considered as being independent of matter per se. * 20. The universal cosmic fluid is the primitive elementary matter, whose modifications and transformations comprise the innumerable variety of bodies found in nature. As the universal elementary principle, it offers two distinct states, etherization or imponderability, which may be considered the normal primitive state, and materialization or ponderability, which is in a certain way only consecutive to the former. The intermediary point is the transformation of the fluid into tangible matter. However, even then there is not a brusque transition, because our imponderable fluids may be regarded as a halfway phase between the two states. Allan Kardec, Genesis, International Spiritist Council, 2009. Page 354. Tr. 28. Since spirit is something in and of itself, wouldn't it be clearer and less subject to confusion to label these two general elements as inert matter and intelligent matter? Words do not matter much to us. It is up to you to formulate your language in a way that you can understand one another. The disputes among you almost always arise because you cannot agree on the meanings of the words you use. Your language is incomplete regarding things that do not touch your senses. One obvious fact dominates all theories. We see matter, which is not intelligent, and we see an intelligent principle that is independent of matter. Nonetheless, the origin of and connection between these two are unknown to us. Whether they have a common origin and necessary points of contact between them, and whether intelligence has its own independent existence or is only a property or effect, as some claim, or even whether it is an emanation of the divinity, this is all unknown to us. Matter and intelligence are distinct, as far as we are concerned. Thus, we regard them as being two principles comprising the universe. Above these, however, we see an intelligence dominating and governing all others, and it differs from them due to its essential attributes. It is this supreme intelligence that we call God. The properties of matter. 29. Is ponderability an essential attribute of matter? Of matter as you understand it, yes, but not of matter considered as the universal fluid. The ethereal and subtle matter that forms this fluid is imponderable to you, and yet it is the very principle of your ponderable * 21 matter. Ponderability is a relative property. Outside the gravitational pull of the globes, there is no weight, just as there is no up or down. 30. Does matter consist of one or many elements? One single primitive element. The bodies you regard as simple are not true elements, but rather transformations of the one primitive matter. 31. Where do the different properties of matter come from? From the modifications that the elementary molecules undergo as a result of their combining under certain conditions. 32. Then wouldn't flavors, odors, colors, sounds, even the poisonous or healing qualities of certain bodies be no more than modifications of the one and the same primitive substance? Yes, of course, and they only exist due to the disposition of the organs that are meant to perceive them. This principle is proven by the fact that not all people perceive the qualities of objects in the same way. What one person finds tasty, another might find disgusting. What appears blue to one person may appear as red to another. Something that is poisonous for some might be harmless or even healthy for others. 33. Is the same elementary matter capable of undergoing all possible modifications and acquiring all possible properties? Yes, and this is what you should understand when we say that everything is in everything. Asterisk 22. Asterisk 21. Ponderable, worth serious consideration or having appreciable weight. Webster's sit, i.e. something material that can be studied. Tr. Asterisk 22. This principle explains the phenomenon known by all magnetizers, which consists in using willpower to confer very different properties upon any given substance: water, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, and all the other elements we consider to be simple or only modifications of the one primitive substance, as it is yet impossible for us to go back to this substance except by thinking about it. The elements truly are elements to us, and without further ado we can consider them as such until further notice. Doesn't this theory affirm the opinion of those who do not believe in more than only two essential properties for matter, force and movement, and who believe that all the other properties are only secondary effects that vary according to the intensity of the force and direction of the movement? This opinion is correct, but it should also add, according to the arrangement of the molecules. This may be seen, for example, in an opaque body that becomes transparent and vice versa. 34. Do molecules have a defined form? Certainly, molecules have a form, but you are incapable of discerning it. Is this form constant or variable? Constant for the primitive elementary molecules, but variable for the secondary ones, which are only aggregations of the former. However, what you term a molecule is still very far from being the elementary molecule. Universal space. 35. Is universal space infinite or limited? Infinite. If it had limits, what would be beyond them? I know this baffles your reason, yet reason itself tells you that it can be no other way. The same is true of the idea of the infinite. You will never be able to comprehend it from your tiny sphere of thinking. Suppose we were to imagine a limit to space. No matter how far out our thought may place it, reason tells us that there must still be something beyond it, and so on and so forth to infinity. Even if there were only an absolute void beyond that limit, there would still be space. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. For instance, a specific flavor or even the active qualities of other substances. Since there is but one primitive element, and since the properties of different bodies are but modifications of this one element, it follows that the most innocuous substance has the same underlying principle as the most harmful substance. Thus, water is made up of one part oxygen and 2 parts hydrogen, but becomes corrosive if the proportion of oxygen is doubled. An analogous transformation may be produced through magnetic action directed by the human will. Orth. 36. Is there an absolute void in any part of universal space? No. There is no void. What appears to you to be a void is actually occupied by matter that cannot be detected by your senses or instruments. On Saturdays, a new part of the Book of Spirits. Subscribe to our channel. Collaborate with our social works.